Hi friends and welcome to Ru's Kitchen and Garden. So this video I'm making because a lot of people on the various gardening forums that I am on keep asking me what kind of pot do I use, how big is my garden space, what kind of soil do I use, what I do to have a proper production, a good high yield production. So I thought let me make a video showing you guys what kind of pots I use, what kind of soil I use, and how big or how small is the space, my rooftop garden actually, how big or how small it is. So let's start this video. Let me first show you my garden. As you can see, this is the space that I garden in. I have a huge rooftop, but I'm not completely covered everything. I've just kept myself focused to this corner, and this is where I garden. And trust me, this has now become the coolest spot even on hot days. That's what a nice garden does to the weather. So this is it. So I'm growing some mint and tomatoes, some bay leaf. Bay leaf is grown tall. Some radishes, roses. Now I will show you roses I grow. So I grow flowers around vegetables. I always believe in companion planting. So companion planting could also be attracting more bees, or could also mean deterring insects and all the creepy crawlies, like a repellent plant or a attracting plant. So roses I have planted here. Now rose attracts a lot of pollinators, and it also looks nicer amongst all the vegetables. And I will show you, every pot of mine, like I've always mentioned, is always has garlic. So I put a lot of garlic chives in all the pots. That's because garlic kind of deters a lot of insects and pests. So always come and pop a clove of garlic. There were some radishes here which we plucked. So now also I would like to say, if you're growing like taller plants, like suppose this bay leaf is quite tall, this tomato is quite tall, so you should always plant like radishes or carrots or beetroots, so that the nutrition from this pot, now this pot is 35, this is 50 cm by 35 feet, 35 cm sorry, I had to write this in my hand. So the length is 35 cm and the width or the diameter is 50 cm. So this pot I've used for tomatoes. Generally all my pots are similar size, because I feel then there's a lot of space for the roots to grow, and they don't fight for nutrition, they don't turn yellow. So here at the bottom I will grow, or I typically grow, radishes, beetroots, carrot. And people also ask me about composting. Do I have a separate compost pile? I don't. What I usually do is I come and dump all my waste, the kitchen waste, the leaves and petals and whatever I'm using, dry leaves. I just dump it in the soil. I keep dumping, and then I come and cover it with another layer of soil. So in some time you will see, in fact even faster than a composting pile, all this soil turns into nice compost. So I don't have to make like a separate composting pile. I just do it in the normal pot, right? Every day you have some scraps or the other, or coconut eggshells or something or the other. You just come and just crush the eggshells, the coffee, used coffee grounds, the flowers, petals, skins, peels, whatever, just come and put in your pot. Every day I focus on one pot, and then I just cover it up with some soil, and then I have my in pot compost. Or like I had shown last time, I make like a small composting pots also. I'll show you further down. So here I'm growing another like radish in this small pot. This is not very tall, so as compared to this, you can see. So I grow radishes almost in every pot. I grow beetroot almost in every pot, because if there are taller plants, then the roots go down of the radish and beetroot, and they get nutrition from there. So that's it here, as you can see. So we spoke about compost, we spoke about companion planting for attracting pollinators. Let me see here again. Now some leaves I plucked, some waste flowers are here. Now this I'm pulling out weeds, but I have a solution for these weeds also, which I'll show you. Again, there's a garlic that I've planted here. This is rosemary. This has been with me for 4 to 5 years now. It's very healthy and it keeps producing leaves. So here's my coriander. Again, so if you're growing beans which grow taller, give them support. So here I'm growing beans, some ajwain, some papaya which will go in the soil soon. So this is it. This is one section. If you can see, let me go back. That is it. So I have 1 2 3 4 1 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 13 14 15 16 17 18 19 20, around 20 21 pots in each stand. So that is it. So this is not like a big space. Then this is one wall which gets good sunlight. So I have put a bell pepper here. Now this bell pepper has grown tall. I'll have to change it. I'll have to move it to a bigger pot. I have a few big empty pots. So yeah, this one also is nice. So I can now put my bell pepper in this pot. Again, this is the same thing. 35 cm is its height and 50 cm approx is the diameter. So I have some black pepper growing here. Then this is my black beauty eggplant. This one also is a quite a big pot. Oh yeah, this is the composting thing which I do in the soil. I cover it with a lid. Then this basil plant, I call it honestly the lavender of Asia, because the amount of honeybees this plant attracts, even now I think there are a lot of honeybees here, lots of honeybees every day. So the amount of honeybees this plant attracts, and every time I come and I will remove these seeds, I'll put them back in the plant. So we have new plants all the time. So it's like on its own recycle mode. Here you can see there are a lot of honeybees. If I move this, yeah, if you can. So this attracts a lot of honeybees into my rooftop garden. Here, like I said, I have eggplant, I have aloe, few basils, cute little honeybee here. Yeah. So, and now another kind of companion plant would be this French marigold. Now French marigold in particular, because this French marigold is quite robust, quite hardy, it lasts long. Your normal marigolds will have a life cycle which is maybe like say around 1 or 2 months, and it will start dying off. So by the time, normally any kind of seed to fruit or seed to vegetable takes around 3 months minimum. There are some plants which takes 9 months to grow, like turmeric and stuff like that, or big fruiting trees, but normally your veggie patch will take around 3 months. So these French marigolds last you more than that. Now what these French marigolds do is they keep aphids, mealybugs, all of that away. It would be better if you could plant these French marigold into all these pots, but if you have like 4-5 nightshades like bell pepper or chilies, so it's better to keep a French marigold in between. So you see, this is my chili. This has got no mealybugs, no aphids. Usually chilies are always, they have that white powder or mealybugs or aphids, nothing. It's thanks to this French marigold. And do use only French marigold because that lasts long as opposed to any other normal marigold. As you can see, I have lemongrass here, I have some coriander. Now these wild plants keep growing. Of course you can keep plucking them, or what you can do is, when your pot is very big and you're not planting anything else, you can use this cocoa fiber. This is my zucchini plant. You see this cocoa fiber, coconut fiber, you can put this prevents two things. This does for the things that grow at ground level, like near soil level. If I water them in the past, what was happening was the leaves used to rot or the fruit used to rot. So if you put this cocoa coir, it doesn't stay wet, and even if it does stay wet, the fruit doesn't get wet and insects don't get attracted to it. This avoids snails also, because snails get irritated, so they don't climb around this when you have cocoa coir. So this is excellent to suffocate the weed growth. It's excellent to prevent snails and all the creepy crawlies. And third, it prevents your fruit from rotting, okay, when it lies on the soil. See, it's a healthy zucchini here. Now we spoke about mulching. That's called mulching. Here also I have done that. This is my eggplant. healthy eggplant. This is my beans. Beans, the leaves are getting a little brown, but this is a determinate variety. So as soon as it fruits, that it gives me beans, it's going to die. So here, if you can see, I've done some mulching. This is the cantaloupe. Then the mulch is gone. We added more soil and stuff. This is the bottle gourd. Now bottle gourd, all kind of creepers like cucumber, watermelon, gourds, cantaloupes, they all need space to grow. So you can give them such netting so they can sprawl on that, they can grow on that. You can see a cucumber here lying. So you should give them some, either make them stand up, give them support, or put a net and keep the pot empty, because these are heavy feeders. Cantaloupes, cucumbers, bottle gourds, watermelons, these are heavy feeders. So again, my pot is the same height, same length, same diameter. These guys need big pots. Feed them constantly. When they start flowering, water them less. Don't water them at all, because these cucumbers, gourds are full of water. But when they start flowering, let the plant make its own, they'll give you more fruits if you water them a little less when they are flowering. When they start fruiting, fertilize them every week. Alright, they are heavy feeders, like I said. So don't plant anything. Now let's come to this cucumber. Don't plant anything around them. Let's come to this, I'm calling it cucumber for what, I don't know. Let's come to this turmeric. This is a beautiful flower that you can see. Now turmeric typically takes 9 months to grow. So give it a longer pot, give it a bigger pot. This is mango ginger. Again, used in Thai cooking, very good for health reasons. And I will make a separate video on this. It's long due, because this is a very good plant and people should know about the importance of this plant. This pot is a little small, so maybe it must be like 20 cm or something, and maybe 30 cm by its length. Again, if you see, if I have not put anything here, if I don't mulch, all these tiny weeds start growing. This is also a very good herb, by the way. I can't remember the name, but it is very good for tuberculosis, malaria and stuff like that, asthma and stuff. Now this, you see, long. So these are rhizomes. They need a lot of space to grow. So have a bigger or a longer pot for turmeric and ginger and galangal and stuff like that. So that's that. Now mulch we've covered, in-pot composting we've covered. Now let me tell you my soil. What soil I use, people always ask me. I use this kind of soil. This is a potting soil. This is called bio-organic potting soil. It's for vegetables and stuff like that. It's a very light soil. I love this soil. A lot of husk material in it. So I love this soil. All my vegetables grow in this. Seeds, I generally use Baba seeds, or I buy from India. Or if someone's coming, they bring seeds for me. So having good friends helps. I also save a lot of seeds from what I eat. Now I would like to talk about fertilizer and sprays. People cringe a lot when we talk about cow urine, but let me tell you, if there is something which is like a golden liquid in and around your garden, then it is this. It's called Gaumutra or cow urine. I buy it from any Indian puja store. They sell it in Little India also. I buy online also. So you can cringe as much as you want, and then you're welcome to have your critters and your insects and your things destroying your garden. But if you have an open mind, if you don't judge, if you don't if this doesn't put you off, then you should surely use cow urine. I will tell you how to use cow urine. Maybe 10 ml of cow urine to 1 liter of water, and you can keep that for 3 days, and then you can fill it in your spray bottles. I have some here, this and this, and keep spraying regularly. Trust me, you will not have any problems like mealybugs, aphids, ants, nothing. You can also add a pinch of turmeric in this. Then I also use neem oil. So as you all know about neem oil is very common. This is honestly my secret ingredient. And then what else? For fertilizer, I also have this here. As you can see, this is some garlic peels, banana peel, onion peel. I put some marigold inside for more insect repelling plus fertilizing properties. Then I showed you all pot composting. I also use seaweed fertilizer. I also use fish emulsion. But to be very honest, all those are still supplements. If you want to naturally keep your plants healthy, if you want to keep your plants thriving, if you want to keep them away from insects and pests and stuff like that, use cow urine, use neem oil, use your chili and garlic water, nothing like it. Now the other thing I would like to show you that I use in my garden is also, again, people can cringe if they want to, but India is been an agrarian society. We have a lot of farmlands, and we know the traditional method of farming is making use of the cattle that you have, because the cows and the buffaloes, the ruminating animals, they keep chewing their food for longer period of time. Their cow dung is also full of nutrients. So this is it. This is a dried cow dung cake. This again you can find it in any Indian puja store. We use this for puja here. People use this for puja, but I use this for my garden. So I soak this in water for 3 days, and then I add some cow urine, I add some neem oil, and then I go around and put a tumbler full of that water in my garden. And hence you can see all this that I have. I would like to show you my guava tree below. It's also full of fruits. It's all because of this. I do not use any type of chemical, any type. Even no matter how strong or powerful the infestation is, I will still use natural methods, and I swear by them, I abide by them. So this is it. Let's go down. I'll show you my guava tree. It started to rain, but yeah, let's go down and see it. Here I thought, let me just show you this another way of companion planting also. This is my okra. I planted it on 13th October. Today is 19th, so 20th. So it's almost been like a week that I've planted this. And this also you can see there are around 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, we had planted 12, but only 10 have grown. Now these are zinnias. They attract, just see the colors. They attract a lot of pollinators. They are growing in my frangipani plant. It's a big pot, and there was a lot of space below. So I thought I'll just put some colorful plants so they can bring a lot of pollinators here. Okay, let's go down now once again. So the zinnias, the roses, and the bay leaf from the garden makes for a very nice flower display every evening. You know, by your dining table al fresco, you can just put this beautiful flower arrangement. While we are here, let me just go to this small attic room and show you my bioenzymes. So along with my natural methods of gardening, I also make these bioenzymes. These also again are natural pesticides, fertilizers, all-purpose cleaners. Here, keep making different batches. This is a complete rose and marigold bioenzyme for glass cleaning and insect repelling purpose. These are citrus ones, same. So this is also another natural way of farming. Then companion planting along with marigold, these are nasturtiums. These also are good, very good insect repellents. So here let me show you the seeds also, because people keep asking me what seeds I use. So now this is going to be my seed for my bitter gourd that I'm going to grow. Then I have again some more nasturtiums, hot tree seeds, and also I have lots and lots of marigolds here. Sparkly French. I don't know if you can see. So these are French variety of marigolds. Calendula again is a nice companion flower which repels insect. Calendula, marigold, nasturtiums. These are what you should use to repel insects in the garden. This is the flowering garden. I cannot go down anymore because it's raining. But this, you see, let me show you the fruiting on the guava. So this is the fruiting on the guava. And again, like I said, it's all natural. No chemicals I use. So you can just see the amount of fruits you have. So yeah, you see, full of fruits. Yeah. And let's show you a lime. This is I've grown this from seed. It's taken 6 years to grow. I always keep mentioning this because I'm very proud of the fact that you can just pick your seed that you're eating, put it in the ground, and it just grows with proper care. You can see the cucumbers growing here. So this is it, friends. I'll end the video here. Just wanted to show you how you can grow things naturally without the dependency on any chemical fertilizers or pesticides. Just use natural products in and around your house, and you can also reap huge benefits naturally. So alright, thank you for watching, and if you have any doubts, do leave us a comment or ask your doubts on our Insta page or in the comment section. Thank you. See you. Bye bye.